So nearby, Brad and Nisha. Let's talk about the alien, but first, let's open this cool can of Pepsi. Did you know Pepsi stops aliens and protests? That's a reference that someone's getting and like, I know what you're on about. Do you know that reference, Nisha? Did you ever see that, like, the Forbidden Pepsi commercial with, is it Kendall Jenner?
I don't remember who was
where it was like just
they made
okay.
fun of it in The Boys.
Okay, so that one where like the A train goes up with like the can of pop, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That is based on a real thing that Pepsi did with Kendall Jenner during the Black Lives Matter protests.
Oh right.
Where they had like her stopping the police from like beating down some protesters by giving them a nice cool can of Pepsi, and they scrubbed that shit from the internet immediately. Luckily though, nothing's ever deleted forever, so here's a clip. That's a real thing they thought would be okay. Let's evoke, people like, protesting for their right to not get beaten to death by the police and use it to sell Pepsi.
I just felt so stupid.
So here at Fact Fiend, we're huge fans of the alien from Alien. She's just a little guy trying his best. Right, yeah? I like the alien.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I love the alien.
Trying his best.
Directly before this, we did a RoboCop video. Have we got a Terminator one after this? For the trifecta.
No, but I do have. I mentioned I think I showed my my poster for RoboCop. I've got a poster for Alien here as well.
Alien as well.
I've got one for Alien. That doesn't go above my bed, but we have that there. We have that. But yeah, it's also a creature that propagates via xeno-human turbo rape, and that's a thing we can talk about in a second. I don't know how else to describe. That's what it does.
Oh my God.
That's what the alien does. It's its whole thing. Which,
Yeah.
with that in mind, it'd be kind of weird if they tried to sell the alien to kids, right? You could probably see where this one's going. So
the actual alien to kids. Please just take it.
well, this lets us talk about one of the most bizarre things about the 1980s. Because Brad, you mentioned Terminator just then.
Yeah.
We talked about RoboCop earlier. We've got Alien. And there's Rambo, that's another poster I've got on my wall. The trifecta, the triple threat of 80s action movies. All of those things got cartoons.
Anywhere and everywhere, the savage forces of General Warhawk threaten the peace-loving people of the world. There's only one man to call. Get me Rambo.
And that's weird, right? Because let's just break down RoboCop. First one, it's a police officer who gets all of his arms and legs shotgunned off, and then he guns down drug dealers by shooting in the dick. Doesn't sound very child friendly, right?
Kid friendly, yes.
Yeah, Rambo, a soldier with PTSD who rips out Viet Cong throats with his bare hands, and then guns down half the Russian army with an M60.
Kid friendly, yes.
Got a cartoon. The alien, which we're talking about today, propagates via xeno-human turbo rape. There's no other way to describe it. That's what the alien does. Well, we can't talk about the alien without first talking about the person who created the alien, H.R. Giger. So you pronounced it right in this video. I got so mad because I've only ever seen the guy's name written down once. We did a video years ago where I pronounced it Geiger, and all the comments are you're pronouncing his name wrong. I'm sorry, I've never heard it said out loud. I've only seen it written down.
I think you should do that thing we did in one video where you just pronounce whatever name it was wrong every time.
Just
so
piss off
people, at least
every time.
once it's right.
Just piss off everyone. And for anyone who doesn't know, H.R. Giger was an avant-garde Swiss art weirdo who was directly credited with creating the alien, with the design of the alien being almost entirely lifted from a piece of art he created, simply and enigmatically titled Necronom 4. And have you seen Necronom 4, Brad or Nisha?
No.
I can show you it now. I can zoom in on the screen, and you just look at it, and first thing you'll say is, that's an alien, because it's the alien from Alien. But the second thing you might notice, Nisha,
That's an alien.
that's an alien, but also, that's a penis.
Yeah.
That's a big old dickheaded alien right there, right? Admittedly, Necronom 4 is a bit more explicit than the design of the alien, but when you think of the alien, it's pretty much that, just a little bit more streamlined. It still has the huge elongated banana head,
But not as long as that.
which looks like a penis. That's the thing in Necronom 4 as well. It's got it's got the tip and everything. And admittedly, like, you know, the design of the Alien in the Aliens franchise is a bit more restrained, but not by much. And almost every aspect of the Alien, from its design to how it breeds and propagates, is directly influenced by the fact that, like, H.R. Giger was a weirdo. And everything to do with the Alien has to do with sex. Insert that clip of Robert California from The Office.
There is only sex. Everything is sex. Do you understand that what I'm telling you is a universal truth?
Because, yeah, the Alien is just all about sex. Specifically, sexual violence, and more specifically still, against men. So, you know, for example, the face hugger. Brad, what does the face hugger do?
It hugs your face.
It does, yeah. Like, you know, just in more detail, what does the face hugger do?
Well, it leaps at you, it wraps its little tendrils around your head and then puts them in your mouth.
Yeah, forcibly. And then what does it do?
What do you mean afterwards?
Yeah, like what happens after the...
It impregnates you.
Yeah,
and then,
forcibly against your will, and then what happens after that?
It turns into a little penis and bursts itself out of your body.
And kills you, right? Yeah. And like, who does it attack in the first movie? It attacks a man.
Oh, God!
This isn't me reading too much into it as well, because like whenever I talk about stuff like this, you're reading too much into it, it's just a movie. Like, you know, all the people working on the first Alien and all the subsequent like sequels and spin-off materials, said the Alien is 100% about sexual violence against men. Because that's terrifying, isn't it? And it's something as well that's like, you know, you don't often see in horror. Because like, how many horror movies is it like women are the target of violence and sexual violence? Whereas the Alien series, for the most part, it flips it on its head, where it's men who are the target of the sexual violence, it's the women who protect them. And that's how you get, like, you know, Sigourney Weaver, like Ellen Ripley's character, being so iconic, because she flipped that idea on its head.
Where you want it?
Bay 12, please.
And I think the face hugger is the best example of this, because he looks like a weird crab thing, right? You look at it, it's like crawling around, but like, have you ever actually seen what the other side of the face hugger looks like? The bit that goes down your neck?
I just want to mention, because the entire time we talk about the face hugger.
Okay.
We have, well, you know, don't you?
Yeah. Okay.
Because we got one of those mystery boxes from HMV.
Okay.
And it came with a plushie version of a face hugger, and it's so cute.
They are cute, yeah. And that's, you know,
But it's just horrifying to hear that. But now it's just Luna's toy. She attacks it. So
Well, that's the deal.
get that face
I
hugger.
think I've got a video of
and we can talk about that, and if you've got that video, send it to me, 'cause that clip's going in, but...
It's dead.
Yeah, like, people, you see the face hugger, it's like, oh, it's a weird crab monster, what's that got to do with sex? Like, the thing that lays the eggs in your throat, that's like, you look at that and you go, oh. Oh, especially when, like, you know, you realise that it's covered in this goopy liquid and it lays eggs in your throat, and it's like, it's so obvious.
Its long snout down into the helpless victim's throat in order to deposit its horrible seed. The cosmic incubation has begun with 8 long-jointed fingers and 2 pulsing testicle-like appendages for the spores.
And going back further in the life cycle of the alien to the alien egg, they had to tone that down, because initially the alien egg would just open like that. And since, like, you know, everything about aliens is about sex, you can probably guess what it looked like when I just do that motion. And apparently censors hated that. So what Giger did instead is he made it into a cross design. And he said that was a deliberate jab at, like, you know, all the weird like moral guardians who are like, oh, it's too sexual. And he said, I made it into a Christian cross. So when they look at it, they're going to see my design, my creature, defiling their, like, you know, the symbol of their religion, the symbol of their faith. Because they didn't want to see a vagina and then, like, you know, a penis rape monster explode from it.
The original idea for the egg's opening was a kind of mobile elastic slit, but the production felt that this was too directly reminiscent of female sex organs and worried about possible censoring in Catholic countries.
I'm not going to watch that film the same way again.
Well, that's the thing, is, like, even just like little, like, you know, the chest burst, the next stage in its life cycle, just the bit where, you know, pops out, like you said, it looks exactly like a penis, forcibly erupting from the guy's chest cavity. And, like, if you get the screenshot, it just looks like a dick. Because it was designed to look like a dick.
In another studio, Carlo Di Marchi is working on the facial musculature of the monster.
And again, this isn't me reading too much into it. This is Giga himself saying, yeah, it's all dicks. It's dicks all the way down. Like, do you like the universe, like it's turtles all the way down? Just with the it's dicks all the way down. It's all dicks.
Oh my god.
Even the HR stands with a huge rock on.
It's just that thing. So like everything in the design is all penises and it's all sex, and that's what makes it so weird that they sold the alien to kids. Because as I mentioned, there was a weird period in the 90s and the 80s where they took R-rated movies that were incredibly violent and not at all suitable for children, and then somehow like marketed stuff for them towards kids. As I mentioned, like RoboCop got a cartoon, Rambo got a cartoon.
Facehugger got a plushie.
The Facehugger got a plushie. The Facehugger also got a bunch of toys. And it's that weird thing of, they were making toys related to a film that none of the kids were technically old enough to watch.
Send in the Marines! Ripley's got the power loader.
How's that grab you?
All the firepower a Marine could ask for. When things get buggy, sting 'em with the stinger.
Rock 'em and rope 'em.
Ugly aliens getting you down.
Send in the Marines.
Aliens! Motherfucker! Come on! Get it, baby! Come on, bastard! Come on, you two! Oh, you want some of that? Fuck you! Fuck you! Aliens!
Imagine like a little like 1 or 2 year old just curling up to go to sleep with a fucking alien doll, like
It wasn't like, that young, but kid, like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Playing like, the alien, like grabbing the alien, like this, like a literal dick monster. And think about as well, like how weird Americans are when it comes to sex. So, we can't even, this video probably will get demonetized because we're talking too much about sex, because YouTube hates any mention of it. And they were selling this toy to kids.
Shit, let's try the kitchen. Another triumph for Alien.
Alien action figure, new from Kenner.
Because the people making it, didn't realise how over the design was, even though it being the most obvious thing ever. It has a literal dick for a head. And that's just really funny to me. They didn't realise how inappropriate it was when they're because I can only imagine a marketing executive making the toy, and it just pops on screen the giant big alien design. This is what we're going to sell to kids. And just at no point no one just went up to the design, look at the alien skull, and just do one circle. And then another circle there and went, oh, just no one got it, and they sold it.
It's hard to believe that no one pointed out. But then also you think maybe they did, but no one wanted to say anything. They were too scared to say anything in case they looked like a weirdo.
Well, like that in How I Met Your Mother, when the guy's got the building that's shaped like a penis,
oh God, yeah.
and nobody will say anything, and then when he brings the people in to actually fund it, the guy's just like, "That's a penis."
Yeah, which clip that clip is going in.
That's a penis.
What makes it so weird with the alien? It's not inadvertent. It's not like an accident. It is 100% deliberate and on purpose. Like I said, Necronom 4, the thing that inspired the design of every bit of alien merchandise in existence. You saw it. It's a penis. It's so. And then HR Giga is like, it's a penis. And then you got people directing the first movie. It's a penis. Well, then they sell it to children, which brings us to delicious, delicious Pepsi.
How does that link?
So, perhaps the most baffling bit of alien merchandising I have found, and there is a lot of it. There are adverts of oh look, it's the heroes of aliens, the Space Marines fighting the aliens. Keep in mind, aliens, all the Space Marines die.
Aliens! They're unstoppable! But we're gonna stop them anyway! Send in the Marines! We're the Space Marines, Drake. Phone. Bishop and I'm Hicks, armed with the latest high-tech heavy metal.
Look out, Hicks! The Queen's gonna crown you!
They all die, and they sold the toys to kids. It's here's the alien! And you see kids playing with the alien. It's that thing murders people. It rips them apart. And tears the face apart, whatever. Is an ad that was linked to, of all things, Alien 3. So not even one of the good ones. The one that, the director, David Fincher, went on record as saying, I would rather get stomach cancer than make another Alien movie. He said that. That's how bad it was. And it was about a year before Alien 3 came out. There was a cross-collaboration with Pepsi where they have a guy in the actual costume from the movie, by the way. They somehow got the actual costume from Alien 3, and it's chasing two, like, teenage boys. So all that's the thing as well. And for the most part, the Alien series has always shied away from ever having children be attacked by the alien due to the implication.
No, they just kill them in cryostasis, don't they?
Yeah. That's the thing,
Not over it.
But they never, like, you know, in the entire Alien series, they have never explicitly shown an alien killing a child or a young person due to the implication.
That seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
The way the alien kills people is evocative of sexual violence, and that's probably not something you should put in a film when there's kids in it. But for some reason in the advert, they show the kids being chased by the alien, so apparently this advert has crossed the one taboo the Alien franchise has always been terrified to do, and the kids are getting chased, and they run across, oh no, a Pepsi machine. Oh, thank God, they get a Pepsi and they throw it to the alien. And I shit you not, the alien stopped attacking them to drink the Pepsi.
I don't think he's from around here.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
And you might be thinking, it can't be as stupid as you're fucking saying, right? That's so dumb. There is no way these kids pass a Pepsi to the alien.
Oh no.
Describe what you see.
They're throwing a Pepsi can and the aliens catch
it. And it catches it. And
casually just like, yeah.
And I said canon earlier, right?
Yeah.
I think, well, that's an advert. How's the advert canon? Well, Pepsi exists in the Aliens universe.
Oh.
That's not across, like, it does exist because in Alien versus Predator, they find a Pepsi bottle cap, which establishes that Pepsi exists. What makes this so deliciously ironic is that a key theme of the Alien franchise is that giant corporations like PepsiCo are evil. Like, do you know Weyland-Yutani? Responsible for all the alien shits going on in, like, Alien and Aliens?
Yeah.
Do you know what their, like, in canon happened to that company, according to a deleted scene in Alien Resurrection?
No.
They were bought out by Walmart.
Weyland-Yutani. Ripley 8's former employers. Terran Growth Conglomerate. They had defense contracts under the military. Oh, they went under decades ago. Get them in way before your time. Bought out by Walmart.
Of course.
So in the Aliens universe, like, you know, Walmart bought out Weyland-Yutani, who were building, like, you know, alien rape chambers. And that's like what, like, you know, companies like Walmart and PepsiCo by extension are like in the Aliens universe. And they're like, yeah, let's sponsor it. Let's have the alien attack some kids and our product saves the children from the alien. Because the alien loves Pepsi, apparently.
There's quite a lot of films where, like, an alien is defeated by something simple. Like Signs, or they're defeated by the water. Or in Evolution, they're defeated by a chemical that's found in...
Head and Shoulders. Possibly one of the greatest bits of, like... marketing ever, because it's so dumb.
Wow, fighting the alien menace can be tough work.
And so is keeping your hair clean, shiny, and dandruff-free.
So it's a good thing that we always keep a healthy supply of
Head and Shoulders around the house.
I just love the idea that the alien films could have been solved by shaking up a can of Pepsi and spraying it in the alien's face.
Yeah. Yeah, the alien loves Pepsi.
I mean, the clues were there. Pepsi's only one letter removed from penis.
Yeah. Oh, that's what he loves. That's what he thought. He just sees it on the can, doesn't it? It's like, he must love Pepsi Max then.
Oh,
Penis Max with a bit with a hint of lemon.
It's got PP right in
like
there.
Like zesting it right on there. Yeah. The alien loves Pepsi. And I will never stop finding it funny that companies just don't get like how bad the optics are when they sponsor stuff. All they see is the dollar signs, which is kind of ironic because that's what happens in the series of like, well, is it really a good idea to invest in like alien rape monsters? What possible? Do you know that like the South Park thing of like step 1, step 2, step 3, like question marks, then profit?
Yeah.
That's what the entire Aliens franchise is. It's like we can weaponize, we can monetize the alien. How? What value can you derive? Well, they're the perfect weapon. No, they're not, because you can't control them. What about if we could? Well, I've got a gun. Is that during like, what is it, Jurassic World?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we can weaponize velociraptors. And he goes, oh, how? And they show him pointing a laser at someone attached to a gun. Say, look, if I point this laser at you, the dinosaur will attack you and kill you. it's attached to a... Just pull the trigger! Just pull it! It's going to be so much quicker. You just pull the trigger and like you have the guy like, well, we can like, you know, monetize this. We can like weaponize raps. Like, how? How? How are you going to create profit from dinosaurs? And I will never get over, like, in that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I will never get over that when they're selling the dinosaurs, they sell like a dinosaur for like 300 grand.
$6 million, thank you. Any increase on 6, 7, $7 million, $8 million, $9 million on the phones. Do I hear 10 million? 10 million?
And for reference, like, I think at the time, like Lionel Messi was worth $60 million, which means that Lionel Messi is worth 60 dinosaurs. And if I existed in that universe, I know what I'd be fielding next season if I own like AC Milan and it's 11 dinosaurs.
It doesn't say with the rules you can't run a dinosaur.
So wasn't it, if Lionel Messi cost more than 65 dinosaurs, why is there 65 dinosaurs on the field?
Instead of Messi, Mesosaur.
That'd be great. And it's just, yeah, like company short-sightedness will never cease to be hilarious. Speaking of short-sightedness and running a company, we've got a Patreon. Discuss.
Yay, Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon. Yeah.
Give us money.
Yeah. The lack of salty from this.
Do you need that? Like, if everyone just had a nice, cool glass of Pepsi and gave us some money.
No, well, Patreon's got a lot of perks, like one we mentioned earlier, movie watch along. We could watch movies like Alien.
Well, I think
together.
I've got.
You know what we could do?
One sec. While you talk about it,
we could say, if this video ends up getting an increase of, like, we'll pick a number of patrons, we'll recreate that Pepsi advert, but with Karl as the alien.
No, we can't afford to make that costume. It'd be too difficult.
I just meant you as the alien. You don't need to be in the costume. I made a volcano. I could definitely make you a penis head.
Oh man, no, I can't find it. I've got like the Alien quadrilogy on somewhere. Like, yes, I've got all the Alien movies. I'd watch Alien. Yeah, we do movie watch-alongs and stuff, don't we?
Yeah. We do the watch-alongs, but you get to vote. So we all pick a movie each. So there's 4 movies, and then the patrons get to vote which one. The one that has the most votes then gets watched.
Yeah, we'll do a watch-along with commentary, and we'll like, you know, we'll upload it elsewhere and do like research and some fun facts for you there. And we're also giving away like, you know, a selection of merch like every month. Like, you know, you can win a free T-shirt, anything from the Psycho store. Hopefully our merch, but if you like something that Psycho make instead of what we make, it's okay. I won't take it personally. And then the thing I'm most excited about, because it's going to go poorly, I know it is, but why not, is a PO box, which I think is the #1 most requested thing I've ever been asked for. So you know what? Don't ask me for shit. We've got one now. It's linked on the Patreon. You can send us stuff if you want. And we'll also do videos like, you know, going through that as and when it arrives. Which means that I've now, I always said, when people ask, do you want to get a PO box? And well, why would I pay money to maintain something that allows people to send me shit I don't want? And now we've got one. Then I've got to go get it. It's got to be in my name.
We want the shit.
It's be Pepsi.
You know what? That's the thing. I was always worried though. Like, people would send like dildos. It's like, I don't need a dildo.
I could do with a dildo.
To be fair, that'd help with the alien costume. To be fair.
Yeah,
we can tape it to the back of Karl's head and recreate the advert.
I don't need that screenshot floating around. But yeah, well, that's like the most requested thing, so it's there now, and like, you know, the Patreon's funding that. So yeah. Get on it.
It also like helps fund us doing this content.
Oh yeah,
still.
like this stuff. If people...
Like the Fiend channel, and then the side channel that's also having like group videos on like challenges and stuff like that, quizzes. Hopefully, still doing the fact feud.
Yeah, believe it or not, this costs money to make.
Yeah.
Like, this Pepsi's not free. Well, it would be if someone sent us some. I can only imagine, like, 'cause I'm loving the thing that like he throws the Pepsi at the alien. He's like, "What about one?" He opens it and you're like, the self-promotion out of the way, can you think of like any like really like bad in terms of optics and like sponsors or like ad placements in movies from recent memory?
There's no recent memory, but I love that the franchise wars in Demolition Man and the implication of how did Taco Bell win?
Yeah.
What did they do to win the franchise
What
wars?
they did is they paid the producers of that movie to have their thing win, and I think like people, that's always held up as like one of the most egregious examples of like product placement. I love it because that's the thing. It's so stupid, and they commit to it. It's not a one-off line.
Yeah.
They fully commit to it, and they have an entire scene set inside Taco Bell.
For his dinner and dancing at Taco Bell. I mean, hey, I like Mexican food, but come on.
Your tone is quasi-facetious, but you do not realize that Taco Bell was the only restaurant to survive the franchise wars.
So?
So? Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
No way.
But then they have like the weird restaurant servings, don't they?
Yeah, because it's a high-end, like Taco Bell's now a high-end restaurant. It's like they reference like the franchise wars that somehow Taco Bell won. Did you know what?
I like to think it was a big food fight.
Might have been, literally.
I just always think about the one in Wayne's World, which is just they try and squeeze in as many as they can.
Everyone always brings that up, and it's like the fact as well. People always bring that up. Like, I can't believe you didn't mention it. It's because it's the most obvious one. Everyone always brings it up.
I brought it up.
Exactly.
Be happy. I brought it up.
So they will.
Exactly. But that's one I always think of because they just squeeze in as many as they can. It's like.
And the thing people say, they were all real sponsorships, because that's the thing. The companies who ask for them don't care. They don't care how sarcastic or how unemotional you are when you do it. They don't care if you're sat there of like, they just want their product on screen for 10 seconds and you can't skip past it.
And play by the rules. Or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
So we talked before about Mark Wahlberg and the Bud Light, where he basically spits most of it out.
He spits it out on camera and they left the take in. They leave the take in the movie and spitting it out because they don't want to drink it.
Takes like a gulp, half of it falls out his mouth.
Yeah, like he couldn't even start, even for the amount of money he was being paid, he couldn't drink it. It's great.
It's your car? Huh? Sweetie, hand me my alien gun.
He's like basically one step removed from that crusted of a clown thing of like, I don't mind the taste. He's basically that.
I don't mind it. Oh.
There we go. What, any more for any more?
I was just like thinking, what was that advert? That was Bailey's gonna get ya. What was that? Do you remember that one?
Oh, Belly, yeah.
I think it was like Greg's, wasn't it?
What? I don't know. It was like really old. I don't know.
I want to say it was like for like a pasty commercial or something.
A massive belly that just rolled down a hill chasing people. I'm sure.
Don't think that was like a product placement. That was like an actual advert. Wasn't
Yeah,
it
it was. I was thinking that's what I've had in my head, like weird adverts. I was thinking of that.
Reebok.
How odd.
We're talking about people going to go buy Pepsi because you're drinking it. We're talking about it.
I didn't have it because it cost a pound. Like, that's the thing as well. I don't give a shit. Like, this is apparently something people give a huge shit about. Of like, I just buy whatever's cheapest. If Pepsi's on special, I get Pepsi. If Diet Coke's on special, I get Diet Coke. People give a huge shit. Like, do you know that thing of like you go in and it's like, is Pepsi okay? Like when you go to a restaurant, and like most people, I've never met someone who actually gives a shit. Apparently people do. People will like throw a tantrum if they don't have like Diet Coke.
The only time I get annoyed is if they have Diet Pepsi and Pepsi Max and I get Diet Pepsi. Because Pepsi Max is objectively nicer.
Yeah, it tastes nice. But like people apparently give a huge shit about it. It was like, I forget which region it is in America where they call all soda Coke. And they get mad if you don't know what that means. And like, oh, can I get a Coke? And you'll bring them a Coke. And like, I don't mean a Coke, bring me a Coke. And it's like, but they get mad that people...
all soda?
Yeah, they call all
orange
soda.
And...
They call everything Coke. But they'll ask for a Coke.
So
Get given a Coke.
Coca-Cola,
I think. Well, yeah, they'll ask for a Coke, just meaning regular soda, but I don't know what that means.
Coke. Everything is Coke. It's never considered pop. It's always Coke.
In Alabama, any fizzy soft drink is a Coke.
We call all soft drinks Coke, no matter what brand they are.
People in Arkansas call a fizzy soft drink a Coke. It's a Coke. All of it.
It doesn't matter what it is.
I don't mind Pepsi unless it's like what we had a few weeks ago, that pub where we paid £3 for a pint and they just poured it out a bottle and it was flat.
We watched them do it.
I watched it pour out a 2-litre bottle and I was like, oh.
£6 if they poured it out of a 2-litre bottle and it was flat and wasn't.
I think the what's worse for me is that, like, you know, Pepsi, Cola, it's all the same thing, but I don't like that both PepsiCo and Coca-Cola own their own water companies and they make water that tastes like shit. Like their water just tastes bad. I don't know how they make water taste bad, but I think it's Dasani. He's like the one that's evil. He's evil and it tastes like crap. And there's that video out there of like a guy at like a conference or something, like football when they're doing like a speech or whatever, and he takes a sip of Dasani. And he does that on camera. On camera. And like, apparently it costs them like millions of dollars because like they just have a guy visibly spitting out, like they make water taste like shit.
Just late, what'd you think of Javon and Drew's ability?
It's something that people are like, oh, water just tastes the same. It's like, no, it doesn't.
No.
It's like when I worked at Taco Bell, the water they had, I think, was Harrogate, it may have been. It was Harrogate or Ballygowan, but one of the two. And I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it tasted compared to other water.
Yeah,
there is a difference.
I think it's a Stephen Colbert bit or something where they have like a water sommelier on. And he's like, yeah, we go like water tasting. Like, water all tastes the same. It's like, no, it doesn't.
This is different throughout the country as well, because there's like soft water and hard water and all that, isn't it? So
especially in the UK, it's like it's present all over the world, but in the UK, it's like we know it's have like the widest range and distribution of like types of water in such a small geographical location. But yeah, it's I never understand how they can make water taste bad, but they pull it off. Speaking of which, to end on, it's an example of just of really bad optics for a company. There was that great time where Cristiano Ronaldo cost Coca-Cola like a couple $1 million. Because I think a journalist asked him to take a sip of Coke. Because like Joe, when they do football things, they always have like, the cans in front of them all the time. And he went, no, water.
Coca-Cola. Olá, boa tarde a todos. Queria dar as boas-vindas à conferência de imprensa da antevisão do...
And apparently him doing that, just cratered Coca-Cola sales in Portugal, where he's from, just overnight. Jeez. Because all the kids want to emulate him, and he's like, no, don't drink it, drink water. And just him saying that cost them millions of dollars in potential revenue, because he said, just drink water. While being sponsored by Coca-Cola.
It'd be funny if he'd said, no, reach under the table, I'm a Pepsi man.
Perfect.